Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's reported on August 30th, 2016, that two celebrity musicians lost family members in homicides. Janelle Monae supposedly lost her cousin in a drive by shooting, and singer T-Pain supposedly lost his niece, who was stabbed to death at a pharmacy in Florida. What we're going to talk about in this video is how these two killings, they're not the random acts of murder as they're presented in the media. What they are rituals. In the world of celebrity, it has been exposed that ritual sacrifice truly goes on. The rapper Noriega recently came out and said there's three paths in hip hop. There's the ritual sacrifice route, where people around you drop dead. There's the, well, as he put it, homo shit route, where you have to get bent over and you know what. And there's the your own man path, where you survive for as long as you're popular. And he said if you want to stay popular and your music's not working, you have to go one of those other two routes: ritual sacrifice, homo shit. And what we're talking about here, if these people really died, is this is the evidence of the ritual sacrifice route. So we're going to be talking about the parallels between these two reported stories, why the killings happened the day they did, and what the links are between Janelle Monae and T-Pain. For starters, both of them are born in the year 85, and the two killings were a drive-by and a stabbing in a pharmacy. Drive-by and pharmacy both have gematria of 85, like the year they're born. The reflection of the number 85 is the number 58, which is very important to Freemasonry. Freemasonry equals 58, secret society equals 58, United States equals 58. This is a nation that was founded by Freemasons and has been governed by Freemasons ever since. The Freemasons are an international secret society having power for thousands of years. Freemasonry very much controls the entertainment industry, from professional sports to Hollywood to recording music. And just look at this image of T-Pain right here. What he's doing down here with his hands, that is a Freemasonic pose. Not arbitrary. Put right before your eyes, foreknowing eyes. So let's get into Janelle Monae and then we'll cover T-Pain. What stands out right away about her is her birth name, Janelle Monae Robinson. Gematria of 213, a number coded on black people throughout history. Black History Month equals 213. Hands Up Don't Shoot equals 213. Tupac Shakur released his final album while he was alive, All Eyes on Me, on February 13th, 2/13. He died exactly 213 days later, September 13th, a date that can be written 13/9. Freemasonry, the big way, equals 139. So does Tupac Shakur. Tupac Shakur also equals 58, the small way, as we just talked about. Tupac Shakur dead 213 days after his 2/13 album release. That was on the 44th day of the year, February 13th, known as Lupercalia, which is the kill number. The name Janelle Monae in Pythagorean gematria also sums to 44. Again, February 13th is the 44th day of the year, a date known as Lupercalia, which is an ancient Roman festival celebrating death. And take a guess at what the gematria of Lupercalia is, which begins on the 44th day of the year. Yes, 44. This year, Antonin Scalia died on that day on a ranch. A ranch. If he really even did die. In the history of this nation, there's a lot of murder by numbers and death faking by numbers. That's the difficulty. That's the piece that's hard to be determined. Are these people really being killed, or are they hoaxes? Is it propaganda? That's the other possible element. Her birth name, Janelle Monae Robinson, gematria of 87 and 96. We've seen a lot of deaths connected to 87 right now. The name Clinton equals 87 in the time of her Democratic convention. All sorts of deaths. The woman that was married to Lil Wayne, both of her brothers were found murdered. They had the 87 connection plus these similar numbers. This number's showing up a lot right now. That name also has gematria of 96, the number connected to Freemason. Notice the name Robinson has gematria of 52. That's a number of prophecy. We'll talk more about that with regards to T-Pain. Her birth numerology, Janelle Monae, the day she was born, it has numerology of 117 and 36, as well as 27, a fateful number. Her cousin that was killed, Natasha Hayes, in Gematria, Natasha Hayes equals 117, the big way, and 36, the small way. Her cousin was 38 years old. 38 years old. She died August 30th. The date she passed was also a date with 54 numerology, which I should have wrote up here. She died August 30th, 16. 8 plus 30 plus 16 equals 54. Natasha Hayes, a name with gematria of 36 and 54, dead on a date matching the numerology. In the reporting of her death, they have this say her name. That was a phrase used commonly after the death of Sandy Bland, which was a ritual sacrifice by the numbers. If she really died, I truly think that was staged propaganda. See my work on Sandy Bland. 33 is the number of the race war. Bland equals 33, Sandy Bland 33, police 33, race war 33, masonry 33, secrecy 33. Speaking of 33, this same news story, it had a link to the killing of Dwayne Wade's cousin. I put out 2 videos on that showing how that was propaganda by the numbers. What I overlooked in those videos is how cousin in Chicago have matching gematria. Dwayne Wade's cousin supposedly murdered at 3:30 in the afternoon, a lot like 33. The name Wade equals 33. Supposedly the cousin murdered by the numbers at 3:30, just after he'd spoke about gun control, just after he'd given a speech at the ESPYs on a date connecting to 33 about gun control. Now another celebrity losing their cousin in suspicious fashion. This killing supposedly happened in Kansas City, Kansas. Kansas City, Kansas has the gematria of 187, the homicide code. In the video I did of Dwayne Wade's cousin, I showed how Dwayne Wade's mother was there speaking right away, ready to do the press conference, hiding behind sunglasses with her name gematria of 187. This woman who just died, she was 38 years old. 38. Death equals 38. She died on August 30th. 8 plus 30, 38. Death equals 38. Number that shows up around celebrity sacrifice all the time. Tupac Shakur died on a date with 38 numerology. So did Notorious B.I.G. So have a number of other musicians. So many musicians, actors that you've heard about dying this year have died on dates with connections to 38. Here's Prince right here. Prince equals 38. Minnesota 38. Chanhassen equals 38, where he died. They're opening his house, turning it into the new Graceland. Graceland equals 38. In February of this year, I predicted Prince might die soon based on the death of Vanity, who died on the 3rd day of Lupercalia. By the numbers, Vanity equals 46, so does Sacrifice. She died on the 46th day of the year. With regards to 38, it also connects to the important riddle. In our language, numbers have been coded and stamped on black people with the purpose of hatred, with division, the numbers 42 and 59. And it makes you wonder why the people who did it have done it. And if you read the Bible, the final book, the book of Revelation, it says the false Jews will rule in the end times. And if you read the Bible, the people who are Jewish, they're people with darker skin, hair of wool, seemingly African people. Now, other people have commented and said, I need to educate myself further. There's other dark-skinned people who are the original Jews. They include the Africans, tribes that were Native American. So there's more to this story, but the point is the people who we call Jewish are not the real original Jewish people of this world. Or, that's why we call them Jewish, like sort of Jew. The real Jews of this world are seemingly the Africans and other darker skinned groups. But look at this, Jew 38, death 38, Africa 38. Think about that, just alone, what's been done to Africa. This word that's been created within black music, Motown, hip-hop, nigga, gematria of 38. And think about what the music industry is. It is Well, it's a lot of people of different races, but a big part of music is young black people working for Zionist Jews, the false Jews, who are said to rule in the end times in the book of Revelation. And the Zionist Jews, what they want in this world is to rule over it by dividing the people against themselves. So they're constantly reinforcing for people to stay in groups, hate other groups, divide over words, terminology. Think about how black people, use this word nigga, don't appreciate when white people use it. A lot of white people want to use this word because they're exposed to music and culture that uses it. It's all by design. But anyway, 38, also a number that shows up around death, especially that of young black people often. Here's 2 deaths on August 30th, and this woman, 38 years old. They said she had 3 teens. If that's true, part of the reason they emphasize that is for the emotional appeal, but just look at the gematria of 3 teens. 119, like all-seeing eye, like Starry David. What I lean towards in these stories is that they're bogus propaganda that these celebrities are willing to participate in to help sell the stereotypes that come out of them, such as black-on-black crime, which is what the T-Pain killing is said to be. And, for this story, I don't know if they've caught the killer yet. Supposedly they're at large. When they catch them, perhaps it'll be another stereotype of black-on-black crime. Because so many people who consume this news media, they've been programmed over the years to think black people are dangerous. And that's why these stories are put out, to keep those stereotypes in place, that type of fear in place. There's so many people in this nation that are completely afraid of black people just because of what the TV has presented over the years. The name of the witness in this story is Candace Berger. Her name was 67 gematria, connected to Freemasonry, blood sacrifice, female. International Women's Day is the 67th day of the year. Just seems interesting that she's the witness. The day this incident happened, it was also a date with 74 numerology. Masonic equals 74, Jewish 74, killing equals 74, stabbing equals 74. The T-Pain killing was a stabbing. It was also a date with 54 numerology connecting to her name. Masonic, the small way, 38. Jewish, the small way, 38. Killing, the small way, 38. Again, death, 38. The date of this death until the singer's upcoming birthday is 93 days later. And that's a number that has to do with Saturn, the keeper of time. She's currently 30 years old. Saturn, the small way, sums to 21 and 30. T-Pain is also currently 30. Let's now jump into T-Pain. T-Pain was born on September 30th, something like 93. His nickname, T-Pain, has gematria of 60. The most hateful word for black people has gematria of 60. We just saw Kobe Bryant score 60 points to close out his career 213 days after the death of Moses Malone, who died on September 13th, just like Tupac Shakur. Moses Malone died at age 60, played the majority of his career in Philadelphia, where Kobe was born. He was the first NBA player drafted by Utah who Kobe closed out his career against. Kobe finished against Utah, scoring 60 points, 213 days after the death of Moses Malone at age 60, the Philadelphia basketball superstar. Black Mamba Day also had gematria of 213, what that day was called. Los Angeles, the 213 area code. So here's T-Pain, born September 30th, 1985, currently 30, from Tallahassee. The nickname T-Pain stands for Tallahassee Pain. His birth name, Fahid Rashad Nam. His first and last name in simple English gematria both sum to 38. And here on the date with 38 numerology, he loses his young cousin at age 23, which we'll talk more about. His full nickname, Tallahassee Pain, has gematria of 143, just like his birth numerology. Very interesting. Born September 30th, there's that 9-3 like Saturn in there. 39 numerology, the reflection of 93. His first album was called Rappa Turnt Senga, meaning he was a rapper, he turned into a singer. In simple English gematria, rapper sums to 74, like Masonic, like Jewish, like killing, like stabbing. This story came on a date with 74 numerology. Tupac's final album released just after his death, Machiavelli, the way that's spelled, gematria of 74. The album shows Tupac on the cross. Cross equals 74, just like Jesus. This year, his mother's death was announced on the real Machiavelli's birthday. Machiavelli wrote The Prince. The news story came out right after the death of Prince. Then Prince from PM Dawn died. From the death of his niece in the stabbing at the pharmacy, 85, like drive-by 85, like his birth year. From the day of the stabbing until his upcoming birthday is 31 days. He's going to turn 31 years old in 31 days. Tallahassee, where he's from, equals 31. His name's Tallahassee Payne. Florida alone also has that gematria of 38, the death number. Look at this. His first album, Rappa Turnt Sanga, gematria of 63. When you add every number up to 63, it sums to 2016. So this could be a blood sacrifice for his first album he agreed to. He signed his life away. And with regards to him and the other woman who lost her cousin, these two musicians, their birthdays are 63 days apart. Add every number up to 63, it sums to 2016. They have these related deaths on the same day. In Jewish gematria, that album sums to 666, the number of prophecy in Jewish gematria. Revelation, the 66th book of the Bible, the book of prophecy. Remember, the name Robinson equals 52. The name of the victim here also has name gematria 52, which we'll get to. 52 is another number connecting to prophecy. But just remember that prophecy connection for now. His niece who was stabbed died at age 23. When you write out the word 23, it sums to 163. 163 is the 38th prime. So there's this relationship between 23 and 38 in gematria. The cousin 38, the niece 23. Her name Giovanna Glover, gematria 52 like prophecy. Prophecy 52, Giovanna Glover 52, Robinson 52. When you write out the number 6, it sums to 52. Think about the number 666 connecting to prophecy. Revelation's the 66th book of the Bible that speaks of the number 666, and 6 also has the prophecy connection. Her first name, Giovanna, gematria of 63. Again, like the album, like the distance in days between the musicians' birthdays. Glover has gematria of 79, like murder. Put it together, sums to 142 the big way. When you write out 42, it sums to 142. 42 and 59, the numbers stamped on black people throughout history. The man who murdered her, or who is wanted for her killing, name gematria of 63. This is a typo in the middle. It should be 54. We talked about how the date also had 54 numerology. So his name, 54 and 63 connections. His last name, Jackson, also has gematria of 73, like sacrifice. And if he really did walk up to this woman and stab her to death, what happened is he was put up to it. Money, bribery, blackmail, a threat. Perhaps, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Perhaps he's involved in something and he's told he has to do this or there'll be these consequences. All of this stuff is orchestrated by the gang that's in power. The people who run the record studios, who run the media, who do these occult practices such as ritual sacrifice. And they always get blamed on patsies, making it seem like they're seemingly random acts of violence. This is the young 23-year-old woman supposedly killed. This is the man who supposedly killed her. Black on black crime again. Just like how they had the two brothers, literally brothers, up in Chicago blamed for the killing of Dwayne Wade just after he wore the black on black suit at the ESPYs speaking about these matters. That gematria pharmacy again, 85, happened at a Walgreens. Walgreens has the 104 gematria, important number to this nation, established on a date with 104 numerology as part of the Masonic Zionist prophecy of bringing about Israel and the Masonic Jewish one world order. Jerusalem 104, USA established on a date with 104 numerology. In this reporting on the killing, they bring up the song Up Down by T-Pain. I'm not familiar with the song, but the gematria of it, up down, is 30, like his age, as well as Janelle Monae's. And it's 93 the big way, the number of Saturn, just like Janelle Monae lost her cousin 93 days before her 31st birthday. Notice that 31 factors into 93 nicely, 31 times 3, interrelated numbers. So there it is, Truth Seeker. 2 more rituals by the numbers, very similar numbers. You know, I'm always talking about the same thing here. This knowledge has to spread so we can make this stop. Prophecy code, death code, homicide code, it's always all there. Plus the Freemason signatures. Until next time, Truth Seeker.